All right, let's see how this sauce is. It's very tasty. All right, let's try the fish first without the sauce. Good. Simple, nice sear to it, full salt. Simple. Now, put the sauce on it. See what the deal is with this purple sticky rice. I've seen this around. I haven't had it. Hmm. I'm gonna have to look this up. I'll put it in the text. Is that like a strain of rice? Because it doesn't seem like it's flavored in a way that would make it purple. It's not like a type of rice. But yeah, I mean, basically, rice is almost always like a part of any meal here. At least the way Laotians would eat or Thai people would eat. I'm assuming that'll carry over to Vietnam and Cambodia as well. I'm honestly really looking forward to that. That is a big highlight for me. As an Xer who grew up experiencing the boomers having a big midlife crisis, a lot of which was centered on litigating the legacy of Vietnam. Vietnam was very much a part of my growing up in that way, like them refighting the Vietnam War on TV and in Hollywood with everything from Rambo to Platoon and, of course, Apocalypse Now. Um, so, yeah, that's going to be really maybe the highlight of my trip. China, of course, I mean, it's China, but Vietnam has a special significance, I think, to people my age and older. Um, so to go to the Hanoi Hilton, to go into those tunnels, like that's going to be really, really interesting. So city, like it's lovely. The street I'm on now, Sacchaline Street, it's known as Foreigner Street because it's all foreigners. So it's definitely got this like French colonial in Asia kind of a vibe. I'm assuming I'll see a lot of that in Vietnam as well. And like it's nice, it's picaresque, um, but I mean honestly, there's not a lot to it. And in terms of the Buddhist sites, I talked about this in Thuya. Am I saying that right? Probably not. I'm trying, folks. I'm trying. Um, when your holy religious sites become a tourist attraction with 100 people holding up a camera, is it still a holy site? I don't know, man. It's an interesting question, but whenever you're a Westerner with Western currency behind you, traveling in this part of the world, it raises a lot of moral conundrums. Of course, you don't want to tell people stop going to these places because it's bringing a lot of money into the local economy. But at the same time, you got to wonder, are they taking that money with a gun to their head? Really? Like, would they prefer just to have their traditional way of life back and get all these foreigners out of here, but they can't because of the way the economy works and global money works? They need that money. They need those euros. They need those dollars. Frankly, they need that yuan. They need that yen. A lot of it's not just Western. A lot of Japanese and Chinese tourists here too. Um, so they have no choice. And as soon as you go across the river where I'm staying, it's like that's Laos, that's Laotian, and over here it's all tourists. I mean, I guess it's like Times Square to them, but it's the heart of their historic district, and it's overrun with people who are not them. What does that? What does that mean? Is it okay? Like cede that to the foreigners and the rest is yours? I don't know. I don't know. And as somebody coming from America with American dollars that go a very long way here, like look, this restaurant in the West should be like a $300 dinner. It's going to cost about 30 here, which is a fortune here. That is a fortune here. That's like that's a kind of a low end cost of a dinner in New York. I don't even know if you can find that anymore with the tip. really, to go out to dinner in New York for 30, you probably can't even do it. And you're getting like a very high end kind of a food and experience. Like they put the freaking napkin in my lap for God's sakes, because $30 is a lot of money. And yeah, man, when you walk through this district and you see these Lao people mixing drinks and stuff, I mean, you can't help but think of like British imperials with their, turbaned servants conforming to this system because they have no choice. It's the only way they can feed their families. But you got to ask yourself, do they really want it? Are Laotians happy being behind a bar mixing a margarita? I don't know, man. I mean, they seem like pretty happy, kind of like, warm people. But does anybody ask them what they think about all this? I don't know. I don't know. And again, it's not just Laos, but I don't know, because this is poorer than Thailand and less developed than Thailand. It's a little more glaring, the contrast between the neighborhood I'm staying in and what it's like when you come over here, which is very much like a little Western kind of colony in the middle of this Laotian area. Like this morning, I went to the almsgiving ceremony. I'll make a more full video of that. This is trying to get something out before I'm moving around again. Don't have time. So there's an almsgiving ceremony where the monks walk through the streets in the morning. Devotees, Buddhists, traditionally offer rice and different things so that they can support themselves in the monastery. Now in Luang Prabang, this is one of the main tourist attractions. People get up at 5 in the morning. This takes place about 5:36. You got people, there's a cottage industry where they set up little stools and you pay them. It was 50,000 kip, which is like $2. And you pay them and they give you like a thing like this, but bigger, of rice. And they give you like a basket of like processed wrapped snacks, like wafers, things like that. And you sit there, man, and you wait, and it's a lot of Asian tourists. Like it's not all the ugly Westerner. It's just tourists in general. I would say more Asian tourists, at least where I was, than anything else. Westerners ain't getting up at 5 in the morning. I mean, obviously there were some, but a lot of Asians. Yeah, the monks come, and everybody gives them the rice. I did it, and they give you a glove to put your hand in the rice. They have like a bowl of their own, and you give them like lumps of rice as they go by. And man, it's like a rock concert. Everybody's holding up their phone, filming the monks walking by with their sacks and their bowl. How they feel about this, I don't know, man. I know a fair amount about Buddhism. If I were to identify myself as any religion, it would be that. Which is not to say I do, but it makes the most sense to me of any religion, major world religion. And as Buddhists, they're supposed to kind of be indifferent, but as humans, they're probably not. How do they feel about going down the street in this what's supposed to be this sacred ancient ritual, and you got a bunch of people trying to take selfies as they walk by, right? Like, I mean, I guess they just see that as people trapped in samsara and illusion. But what about the practicing parishioners, the practicing Buddhists? How do they feel about it? Because what I have noticed is these very famous popular Watts. You'll get a few local Buddhists, but usually the Buddhists that you'll see at them, particularly the ones that are like holy sites for pilgrimage, they're from abroad. They're from usually other Asian countries where they are Buddhists, and they came to make this pilgrimage to this Wat. You do have, just like with Christianity, you have St. Patrick's Cathedral, you have St. John the Divine, but then you have most churches or local neighborhood churches. You got a lot of local neighborhood Watts, and from what I saw, that's where the local people actually go to experience their Buddhism. So when you go to these big famous ones, I think most of the Laotian Buddhists, and I'm not an expert, I could be wrong about this, maybe this is just the high season they stay away, and then once the tourists go away after the high season, they come back. I don't know. I don't know. I can only tell you what I've observed is mostly the local Laotian people don't go there. It's mostly tourists who are at these big lots. You got the monks doing their thing, but yeah, it's it's a tourist attraction, and when it's supposed to be a holy site, that raises a lot of questions about what it means. What is it? Is it still a holy site when it's just swarmed with people with cameras taking selfies? I don't know. I don't know.